Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to all my cloud scholars out there. My name is Kieran Tross. I want to thank you for clicking on this video. I am going to show you how to set up and configure Security Copilot as well as use one of the Security Copilot agents, which is the conditional access agent. And we'll probably jump into a little bit of purview and how you can do the data triage agent and how that looks. I just want to say there's only going to be a few amount of slides that we're going to cover here. And then most of this video is really going to be within the platform itself. So how you set it up, how you configure it, and all that other good stuff. And then I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the pricing. Now, when it comes to Security Copilot, if you heard about it and you're now looking at this video like, okay, I'm trying to figure out what this is. I keep hearing about it, talk about it. In simple terms, it is a smart AI assistant that is going to help you make the better decisions from a security perspective, as well as there are different agents. So some agents work within purview, like the data triage agent. And what it can help you out with is understanding your alerts and telling you these are the alerts you need to pay attention to the most. And these are the areas where you can beef up in order for you to secure your environment. Now, the powerful thing about Security Copilot, this is great for organizations who have limited staff, right? Before I jump to that conversation, I just want to talk about the license requirements. This is Azure's description because it's going to connect to Azure. You're going to have that billing going there. You have to have a Microsoft Entra ID, role access, security administrator, and global administrator. If you work for any Microsoft products, you understand roles are very big. And then there's the E5 and the new E7 license. And then you eligible organization receive 400 monthly SCUs per 1,000 users. And that was informed to everyone from Ignite. Now, billing. This can be confusing, so I am not going to talk too much about this slide. I will tell you that it is very expensive. There is $4 per SCU, which is a secure compute unit. That's how that is modeled. Overage capacity now goes to $6 per compute unit. So you can now put up how much secure compute units you want to enable in your environment. However, if you pass that, then the price jumps up. So it can be confusing. I ran Security Copilot in my environment. I had it running, set it up, all the other good stuff. I didn't really even use it. All of a sudden, I get an alert for my my budget alert within Azure, and I'm jumping up to a couple $1,000s. So that is something that you need to pay attention to. Once I am done with Security Copilot in this video, I am going to cut it off. Now, that's not saying Security Copilot isn't good, right? So Security Copilot is really for, help those like SOC analysts, incident responders, and threat hunters. Let me put it in simple terms. Working in IT, a lot of times you're going to work for a business that you are a cost. So what do I mean by that? Meaning you don't bring money into the business. You are one of those things that business needs, but it's a cost for you to be there. So I worked in healthcare for over 10 years. Nobody comes to the doctor's office to see the IT guy. They come to see the physician. So the physician's bringing the money. The nurse is bringing the money. IT is, what you need to be operational in your business because you need to have computers, EMR systems, electronic medical records, so on and so forth. So I may say something that may trigger some people, but I'm just being completely honest. Working in IT, I've seen a lot of places where you're working on a skeleton crew. They're asking so much of you to do. CISOs, CIOs, CTOs, they're all going to the business leaders and saying, hey, we need a budget. I need another FTE. I need to have another full-time employee because we have all this work to do. You have all these projects. I need some more people to scale and be able to manage these projects better. And a lot of times those conversations fall to the wayside. However, with Security Copilot, you can now utilize Security Copilot to get a lot of work done where now a new FTE we might cost you 70,000, 80,000, another 100 grand, depending on the skill set. Now you use Security Copilot, it's going to cost you much less. Now, I know some of you are saying this is terrible because it's AI taking people's jobs. I'm not here to argue about that. I am only here to give you the deck of cards that was handed to us. Well, actually say, use the deck of cards that's handed to us. I'm here to help you skill up and hopefully get a job. That has always been my goal with any of these videos. So if we talk about it from that perspective, Security Copilot can help out alleviate your job and make things a little bit easier for you, especially if you're a CIO, CTO. These are the conversations that are being had. So if you are new to IT and you're watching my video and you're probably coming like, well, this is incorrect, you shouldn't be saying that. I'm only saying what's happening in the meetings. I've been there. I've heard people say it. I've never, been on the other end where I am letting people go. I've never had that to make that decision, and I don't want to make that decision. What my goal here is to help you get the skills so this way you can now get the roles or get a higher paying job. So that's pretty much it. So I definitely wanted to make sure that you understand my moral compass is aligned. I'm here to help. Okay, so if you go to securitycopilot.microsoft.com, you will get a screen like what I'm getting here as well. You also can go into Azure and you could go into the marketplace. So up here, you would type in marketplace. And then over here, you would look for Security Copilot. You would choose your Security Copilot, and then you would be able to create your Security Copilot, and you would have to go into a subscription in order to get that going. I'm going to come over here because it just makes life easier. And right here, subscription name, I got my subscription. Resource group, I'm going to drop it into my resource group. Capacity name, I could call it anything. Demo Security Copilot. Prompt evaluation location. So right here, this is saying this selection will affect where your prompts are evaluated and how usage is priced. You could do geo, or I can just do United States. That's fine. Capacity name, what does it say here? This name will be displayed in the Security Copilot portal and Azure portal. Make sure it's unique and identifiable. So this is how you know which one is which. You may have different instances of Security Copilot running, perhaps for different teams. And this way you can now have a naming convention and say, oh, this is for Team B or whatever. Now here it says, if this location has too much traffic, allow Copilot to evaluate prompts anywhere in the world is recommended for optimal performance. We're perfectly fine. We're only using it for this, or at least I am. Capacity region, I have used US East. Workspace, I already have a workspace because I've used it before, but you can easily create a workspace. You come here, click workspace, and then you just create a workspace. I'm going to now tie it back to my workspace I already have. And on this left-hand side, this is where you will see and get to your workspaces. Now, this is where cost comes into play. So per unit. So if I do 1, you see the price. Estimated monthly cost is $2,920. If I do 2, you see how the price goes up. If I do 3, 4, 5, you see how it's going up. So I'm going to do 1 because that's what I need for this one. And then here it says use overage units when needed. I'm going to turn that off. I don't really need it on, but if I kept it on, I would say no limit or set a max limit. And I could say 1 unit per hour. I could say 2 units per hour. And that's perfectly fine. And then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to click on create. Now this could take a little while. So what I will do is come back to the video once this is completed. Oh, it is completed. Select the capacity you like to use, capacity created. And I come here, demo Security Copilot. And I'm just going to click apply. Okay, so now, so you can see the Security Copilot interface, right here, this is like your prompts in the home screen. Is the prompts that you can try out. Over here, you have different agents. So I'm just going to click on view agents, and you have different agents. So right here, there's a Purview DLP alert triage agent. As you can see, it's paused. I can manage this in Purview. I have access review agent. This helps your reviewers to make fast, accurate access decisions. This is within Microsoft Entra. You have change review agent. You have conditional access agent. And this is what we're going to go into. Over here, you have prompt books. So if your prompt books, you have different prompt books that you can use. So you could just say, hey, I want to get started with this prompt book. And then you can now start inputting certain prompts and stuff like that. Let me come back here. And you have different ones that you can utilize. Risky user interface investigations. These are just basically templates, in my opinion. And then they have different roles. So based on the role, they will have certain prompts. So for Chief Information Security Officer, this is more about reports. Down here, if I go SOC analyst, you're going to see more in-depth information because SOC analysts have to figure out what's going on there. You have different plugins that you can use as well, like Microsoft Purview plugin or whatever. There's a whole bunch of different stuff here, and then you have different owners. You can build your own agent if you want to. Down here you have manage workspaces. So this is the workspace I was talking about because I already had a workspace here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to agents, and what I want to do is I want to set up the conditional access optimization agent. So I'm going to go set up. It says conditional access optimization agent trigger. This agent runs manually. There isn't an automatic trigger. Permissions, no permissions, yada, yada, yada. I can say set up an Entra. And now I can say, hey, this agent finds new users and apps in your tenant and make sure they're covered by policies. I'm going to start the agent. So it says start an agent. The agent is starting for the first time. I'll let that run, and then we will come back to the video. Okay. All right, so we have the conditional access agent running in our environment. As you can see right here, it says conditional access optimization agent is active. Description, conditional access optimization agent. And we click here, we'll get into Microsoft Entra. All right, so when you get into Microsoft Entra, you'll see what I did was I created some conditional access policies. I left them in report only mode. And with these policies, I pretty much set them up in a way that I wouldn't set them up in a production tenant. As you can see here, it says conditional access agent identified 2 suggestions. So I can click here and go straight to my suggestions. Also, if I went into Microsoft Entra Identity and I went to conditional access, you will see here agent identities. There are 6 agent identities in your environment. So you can now see, for those of you who haven't noticed this before, you can see the different agents in your environment as well. And here you can see conditional access agent 2 suggestions. So it's the same thing. I'm going to click on view suggestions. And here you get to see enable phishing resistant MFA adoption campaign. Help improve your organization's security by enabling phishing resistant MFA. So this is like FIDO keys and things of that nature. You can enable settings right here. Also, it says in the past 30 days, 0 suggestions have been applied. Remember, we just created this. So that's why. And then it says create policy, new policy to block device code flow, review suggestions, and then create policy, new policy to block legacy authentication as well. So there are some suggestions here. So if I click review suggestions, a nice window comes up here, and then what I can do is I can have it create the policy. Your tenant does not have a conditional access policy blocking device code flow authentication. Device code flow can be exploited in phishing attacks and should be blocked. So that is the good thing about this. It gives you these different suggestions that you have here. You can look at some activities. We're not going to get too much information showing here. Even if it's just because, we literally just got this going, right? So now I'm going to come here. I'm going to go to my conditional access policies. Let me come back up here. And I go to policies. And here I can say what conditional access policy enforce strong authentication. I can ask a couple of different questions because I have security Copilot in my environment. I can ask all these different questions and I can start utilizing it, right? So this is a template question. List conditional access policy that enforce authentication strength. And now it's preparing a response. So it says the following conditional access policy enforces strong authentication. Policy name require MFA demo iOS platform, right? So that is which conditional access policy has strong authentication strength. So now if I say can you review my conditional access policies in report only mode and tell me if they have any security leakage. I guess that's the word. Okay, so here's a review of conditional access policies in report only mode with a focus on potential security leakage. It says state. It gives me applies to. It gives me everything I can read instead of me going through all these stuff. So it says summary of potential security leakage. Excluding specific users, especially admins, from strong controls like MFA or blocking legacy authentication can create vulnerabilities. So what I did was I created this conditional access policy for MFA for all users except for the admins. Limited enforcement to only certain platforms or groups may leave gaps or other users or devices. So what I did with this one is I set this one only for iOS, and it's telling me that, hey, you're limiting enforcement only to certain platforms, versus I could have set this to all platforms. I set it to one platform. Recommendation: review the excluded users groups and platforms to ensure that no unnecessary exceptions, especially for privileged accounts. Privileged access policies report only mode for security review. So as you can see, just running conditional access policies against a short list of CA policies, and I know what I did wrong, but when you have like 20 conditional access policies and you have to redo conditional access policy, I've done that before. I've been in a project before for a customer, and they had, conditional access policies for like the last, 5-10 years, and it was different system administrators coming in there, right? They had overturned, and here I am now showing up to now clean up all the bodies. And if I had conditional access agent at the time, it would have been great. So I had to review all of them, write all the platforms where they were connected to, have an Excel document, and then review them, and now say, okay, let's merge these two, let's take this one out, so on and so forth. But you can get more out of your environment and have better detail if you have a conditional access policy, and it helps guide you. So this is why I said Security Copilot. Right. And when you say Security Copilot, there's a lot of different agents that fall under Security Copilot. So conditional access policy is a great tool to use in order for you to now optimize your environment. All right, so that was a nice, quick, short video just to show you how you can get started with Security Copilot. It's relatively simple to start it up, but there are a lot of different agents. There's the Data Security Posture Agent, triage agent, within Purview. Purview's got a few agents there that you can utilize if you're using Purview, and you can do the same thing. Just watch out for the cost for Security Copilot, just an FYI. But hopefully this information I provided you was beneficial. Hopefully by this time I've earned your like and subscribe. Please share this video with others if they are looking into Security Copilot. I try to make it as simple as possible, utilizing and focus on the conditional access agent. I think that that's something that everyone would want to use. As always, my goal here at Cloud Scholars is to get you from scholar to consultant, and of course, consultant to expert. Thank you, and see you next time.